Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. This time we've got the pleasure of watching BIFteki play in his WZ-131. Now this is the Tier 7 Chinese light tank. And one of the reasons why I want to feature this in a video today is that recently in patch 9.6 it received a buff. There are quite a few changes to this vehicle. Its dispersion on the move has been decreased, which means that it's more accurate while driving around the map. It also gained 20 hit points on its upgraded turret, which means that it's now got 900 rather than 880. That's not such a big change. But it also received a rate of fire buff on both of the options on this tank. You can either use an 85mm or 100mm on this vehicle. Now, Teki elects to use the 85mm, but if you do like to use the 100mm on this vehicle, then that has received a rate of fire buff as well as an aim time buff. So if you haven't played the WZ-131 at all yet, or maybe you haven't played it in a while, it's definitely worth re-picking up. I guess these changes were brought into effect because of the rampant Walker Bulldog. The Bulldog got a nerf, but it's still fantastic. It's a lot more balanced now than it used to be. And the Chinese tanks were kind of suffering with the new light tanks that came in a couple of patches ago. You know, the Speerpanzer are so fantastic. I believe the Aufladungs Panzer Panther is in a good position right now in light of some recent buffs to the vehicle. So where were the Chinese light tanks? Well, they've definitely come roaring back, and that's one of the key reasons why I want to feature this. I've been playing my WZ-132 a lot recently and loving it. And I will be putting up some gameplay of the WZ-132 soon. It's a fantastic vehicle for trying to get your light tank missions done. But let's not focus on the WZ-132, which is the Tier 8 Chinese light tank. Let's focus on the WZ-131, which is what Teki is playing here. Now, as I mentioned, he likes to use the 85mm on this tank. It has 200 alpha damage. And I say that, I put emphasis on that because tanks such as the Walker Bulldog and the T-71, now, while they get autoloaders, they only have 150 alpha damage. That means that when you get hit by the WZ-131, you do feel it a lot more than you would in other vehicles. And now with the recent rate of fire buff to both guns on this tank, it hits you a lot more often. Now Teki is just waiting for this T-37, the Tier 6 American light tank, to come around the corner. He doesn't want to get shot in the side by that T-150 he was just shooting. That will have 300 alpha damage if it's using the top 107mm gun. And that is a large amount of his hit points, 1/3 of them, to be exact. Now he's decided that he wants to go in. He forces the T-37 to run away from him into the open, and the kill is secured by a T-34 too. Teki avoids fire from the artillery and comes around the corner trying to hunt the T-150, who is pre-aimed for him. And he's definitely not using the top gun, as he only manages to do 180 points of damage to Teki's tank. He should count himself lucky he was not using the same gun that you can use on a KV-85, which you use on a T-150. It always seemed a bit funny to me that, you know, that you can use a Tier 8 Soviet heavy tank gun on a Tier 6 vehicle. The T-150 isn't really the strongest chassis, unless it gets into a good matchup, of course. So, Teki has decided it's time to attack. Now the T-150 is down, he believes that he has a chance to get in. And this is how you take your light tank play to the next level. He spent the first 4 minutes just providing view range for his team and harassing the enemy. Now he has seen an opportunity to attack. And also, in light of the fact that the enemy team are marauding along the southeast flank, and they are down by 4 vehicles in this game, Teki really needs to get moving. In your light tanks, you have to use your DPM, which is just as good as any other vehicle really on the team. Probably albeit the Jagdpanther 2, which will have a pretty monstrous DPM. So this 85mm may not have the best penetration. It's got 159mm of penetration. That's more than enough to rip through the IS. And Teki ends up doing over 800 damage to that vehicle with 5 shots in quick succession. Now he's hunting the IS-3, his second kill on a high-tier heavy tank. Not done yet, he's going to try and assist his friends. Looks like he just missed the edge of the map there. That's easily done. He looks carefully to see where the IS-3 is. Still manages to sneak a shot over the hull of his ally, tracking the IS-3 and causing his certain demise. So we can see that the standard rounds on this 85mm are more than enough to challenge the side and the rear of enemy heavy tanks of equal and higher tier. It is worth mentioning, however, that this vehicle can meet tier 10 tanks. And if you meet tier 10 tanks, you're very likely to have to use these heat rounds, which have got 230mm of penetration. Now he takes a shot at the back of this Rheinmetall Borsig. Check out the rate of fire buff on this gun. Absolutely fantastic. I do feel that in light of the Walker Bulldog's massive nerf to its single shotgun, that you simply have to use the autoloader on the Walker Bulldog. And if you want to use a single shotgun, then you're probably best to use the WZ-131. Albeit that you're gonna lose quite a lot of gun depression, as we're gonna see in a minute. He auto-aims at the T-37 and finishes him off on the move. What a comeback for the team, but they're still 3 tanks behind the enemy. And we can see this glut of vehicles has managed to make it into the cap circle. His IS-3 falls, victim to a good, well-placed artillery shot from the Su-14-1 on the enemy team. BIFteki managed to get into the bushes and lights up all of the cappers. He puts in a great interrupt there, hitting the tracks of the KV-85. And ouch! There goes his hit points, bravely trying to defend. He only had 3 seconds left to interrupt the KV-85. I think he should have aimed for a little longer there. 5, 4, 3. Oh, great hit there on the STA-1. Bringing him down. But unfortunately, the Tiger that was there going to back him up falls as well. Meaning that Teki is alone with an artillery versus 6 enemy tanks. He must be praying that the M12 puts a hit in. And it's worth mentioning that Teki is indeed now using these heat rounds on the vehicle. The Black Prince can't see him. That is how sneaky the Chinese light tanks are. They still can't see him until now. He bounces a shot from the KV-85. That must have hit the man, but yes, probably the only place that the WZ-131 can bounce off. The Black Prince can't see him. Fails to penetrate with a heat round, so he loads an HE round just to secure the interrupt. Black Prince still can't see him as he gets interrupted. Still can't see him. What camera rating on this vehicle. Now the Black Prince finally spots him, most likely because the Walker Bulldog went over the mound and spotted him for the Black Prince. But it's too late. Teki takes the Black Prince out. Although now he's down to 197 hit points. That's enough to only take 1 shot from the Walker Bulldog. And if the Walker Bulldog does have an autoloader, he's going to have up to 10 hits. He fires on the move at the Walker Bulldog, trying to save the M12, can't quite manage it, and auto-aims a hit into the Walker Bulldog. Now he has to deal with a full health KV-2. Somehow manages to hit the shot. I thought there was meant to be an accuracy nerf in 9.6 for these kind of chancy shots, but I guess not. But this is one of the buffs, and he does another one! Unbelievable hits on the move. This dispersion buff to the WZ-131 has really put it in a good place. So to put that in more simple terms, basically the WZ-131 is better at firing on the move in patch 9.6 than it was at 9.5. Teki needs to keep moving here. The KV-2 hasn't spotted him. His sixth sense hasn't gone off. He fires. I think that was a bad decision because he gets spotted and now he's locked down behind this building. He has to worry about the artillery on the enemy team. He's a fairly experienced player. He's already picked up a kill. And he will only have to splash him to be able to take out Teki here. I like what he's doing now. The KV-2 is a big blind bat with terrible camera rating and terrible view range. Teki, on the other hand, has got excellent view range and excellent camera rating. And that allows him to make the KV-2 look really stupid. And that's one of the beauties of playing your light tanks. especially when you get against these low-tier vehicles like this, especially Soviet low-tier vehicles. You could pretty much do the same to higher-tier vehicles like an IS-6. Although it's quite likely that that KV-2 driver probably had a poor crew. And when you've got a bad crew, that means that your commander's not able to see as far. Combine that with the terrible view range on the KV-2 against the excellent camera rating that WZ-131, and there's only one real outcome of the battle. So now Teki has the Su-14-1 locked down in position, and he's preparing for an ambush. Oh, Teki, what are you doing? That's the way he's facing. Could you not see? Teki comes around the corner, sees his gun pointing right at him, and pulls back, realizing, oh god, oh gosh. It's very hard to see sometimes where the Su-14-2 is pointing. So I like what Teki did here. It made it look like he was going to go round, but he's actually going to come from the same angle. The Su-14 thinks he's coming round, and so he was aiming in the wrong way. Beautiful play by Teki, but he misses his first shot. He misses his second shot, but thankfully the Su-14-1 does as well. That was nearly a disaster. But Teki manages to pick up his 10th kill of the game. And unfortunately, at the end, the MT-25 is AFK. Which means that we don't get that fun showdown between light tanks at the end. I would have loved to have seen how this Tier 6 Soviet light tank did against the WZ-131 when it was on such low health. Teki has kicked so much butt this game, he's running out of ammunition now. And so he's firing his HE rounds at the enemy light tank, while sitting in the cap circle. Now Teki does something very cheeky here, I think. I think he's trying to cap. He's holding on to his last shot on purpose, because I think he wants to get the cap points. But he can't do that because the MT-25 probably comes back from either being AFK or disconnecting and turns his turret. Teki quickly reacts and takes him out. So what a result here for Teki and the WZ-131. If we discount the last kill on an AFK, this was still killing 2/3 of the enemy team in a light tank. That is no small feat, even when the matchmaking is as nice to Teki as it was here. Although, when we think about it, didn't Teki kill each of their top tier vehicles? Teki had to carry this game super hard, especially when he was doing some great bush work from this position over here and defending the cap circle against multiple enemy tanks. I think he could have taken a little bit longer to aim to maybe secure some of the shots, but all in all, some fantastic bush work, combined with the great camera rating on the WZ-131, and he was able to secure the game for his team multiple times over during this round. Teki, thank you so much for this replay. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. Teki picked up the Pools medal for destroying between 10 and 13 enemy tanks, the Faden's medal quite cheekily for killing the last enemy with the last round of ammunition in his vehicle, a high caliber medal, and a defender medal. This was 2,283 experience base. Absolutely phenomenal. And Teki had to do over 2.5 times the damage of anyone else on his team. Even though he fired so many on the move, he still hit 39 out of 47, and 33 of those penetrated, netting him 5,144 damage. He blocked one shot this game. That was the bounce from, I think, a KV-85 using the 122mm. And I guess that's one of the advantages of the turret of the Chinese light tanks, that they can pull off miracle bounces. Teki did just over 900 spotting damage and had to defend the base for 100 points worth. What a result, Teki, and thank you for showing me just what the buffs to the WZ-131 have made it capable of. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as well. If you did, please consider rating it down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see a phenomenal replay in the bigger brother to the WZ-131, the WZ-132, played by Bakachon, which won 3rd place in my recent 200,000 subscriber competition, then simply click up here. And let me know in the comments down below how you feel about the position that the Chinese light tanks are in. Do you think that they're competitive with the American and the German light tanks in light of the recent buffs and nerfs? Or do you think, for example, the lack of gun depression detracts significantly from them? Let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.